A portion of voters in the city of Nampa will see a ballot question in November that can be a little bit rare. It's a question asking voters if they approve the creation of what would be called the Nampa Auditorium District. The question lands on the ballot after a successful signature campaign by a citizens group. The proposed district would allow Nampa to collect a fee of up to 5% on hotel rooms within the proposed district. If Nampa voters would join the roster of auditorium districts in Idaho. If you're unaware, there are a few auditorium districts in the state. That includes Boise, Idaho Falls, and then the joint Pocatello-Chubbuck area. Proponents of the idea say right now, the city of Nampa, they use taxpayer-based budgets for this operation, maintenance, and improvement of the city's largest venues, the Ford Idaho Center and the Nampa Civic Center. The idea from the group behind this is to offset costs generated by this new district. So, what is the proposal? How would it work? Would this cost Nampa taxpayers? I spoke to the group who got the question on the ballot, as well as leaders at the Ford Idaho Center. In the late 90s, the big addition to the Treasure Valley landed in Nampa, originally called the Idaho Center. The complex holds an arena, an outdoor amphitheater, and horse park. All have hosted major acts, events, and moments over the years. But as time ticks on, so do costs to maintain and operate it all.
Well, this is an idea that's been around for probably a couple decades.
Jeff Agenbrod is the chairman of the Nampa Auditorium District Committee, a group that successfully got a question on the ballot for this November. Their proposal, creating the Nampa Auditorium District.
In Idaho, it goes back to 1959 is when the original law was passed.
The Idaho legislature decided to create a mechanism to organize auditorium or community center districts to serve public needs and promote the welfare of the inhabitants, aka give people things to enjoy in their community. And a part of that allows for a very specific 5% tax on hotel and motel room receipts within that district. So, the proposal, for every $100 on a hotel bill, another $5 would be added on, going to that specific fund.
Auditorium district, as much as anything, I categorize it as a user fee. This is a fee that is only charged in our hotels, and generally the people staying in our hotels are using one of the two auditoriums in Nampa.
This building to me, and I would certainly hope the community is, it's a place where you build memories.
Andrew Luther is the general manager of the Nampa Civic Center and Ford Idaho Center. He explains why his team supports it.
We would have a funding mechanism for future growth projects, whether that's new conference center space, additions to the arena, amphitheater, building new RV parks in the horse park. It's kind of an endless opportunity list.
If approved by voters, the red outline on this map would become the Nampa Auditorium District. Only people that currently live in this boundary will see this question on their ballot. The biggest question, though, from voters that I have found, how would this impact my taxes?
A sales tax solely on hotel rooms. That's the only place it can be. It is not a property tax. Nampa taxpayers will not pay it unless they stay in a hotel.
You will never pay for this unless you stay for a night in a hotel within the district. So the vast majority will be out-of-town users paying for the future growth of the facility.
When you think about the Ford Idaho Center, you may imagine concerts or shows, but the traffic to the venue and the hotels near it is drawn by far more than just that.
You name it, when we have state tournaments or rodeos or concerts, those hotels are booked up. The horse park is a huge draw for that. The Best Western on the Nampa Civic Center campus, they're tied in with all the dance competitions that are occurring there. So when events are occurring, those hotels are busy.
Hotels are the focal point here, so what do they think?
Had conversations with our hoteliers in Nampa, making sure that they are in support of this, and they absolutely are.
Our projections have a $1.5 million revenue source annually for this, and that can only go up as hotels continue to build, more people move here, and the demand is there for hotel rooms and events keep occurring.
Idaho law is also clear on how money generated by an auditorium district must be used.
It can only be used for expansions, enhancements, which are happening all the time. These two facilities, and it's hard to believe, are approaching, one is over 30 years old, and the Ford Idaho Center is approaching 30 years old.
So you may wonder about all the events that are going on at the Ford Idaho Center, everything going on that campus, plus the Civic Center. Here's some data, some statistics from recent years. You can see here the Ford Idaho Center between October 2021 and September 2022. They had 155 individual events, over 500,000 attendees. The Nampa Civic Center, they had 415 individual events with close to 95,000 attendees in that same time frame, October 2021 to September 2022. That Idaho Horse Park, they have a lot of visitors, and they quantify it in a way telling us that over 5,000 unique zip codes were recorded since 2017. And they tell us that 60% of the zip codes that are there for anything at all are not from the Treasure Valley. 40% are not from Idaho at all.